Alrighty, hey traders, John Howell here today. What I want to do with you right now is I think a lot of people are really overcomplicating the trading arena more than it really needs to be. And I want to share with you about these markets more in detail, like in an in-depth detail about these markets more, and what the really simple things we can look out for if we're going to go into a recession, right? If the market is going to, if the economy is going to go into a recession, and that's going to affect the stock market, and the stock market is going to go into a very big bear market, what are the simple things we can focus for that can really give some guidance? Okay, so now things are changing, so we can really keep a level head and we can make really good trading decisions. Let's get straight into it, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, if you'd like to learn my actual trading system, my trading strategy, you can see I think there's a link in the description there, guys. I click on that. There's a free video there walking you through my actual trading system that I use. I'm teaching it for free. So with the one thing that I've realized myself over the last 20 years of trading these markets is one of the really big things that I always thought when I first started trading 20 years ago, like looking at these markets, looking at these charts, I started trading 20 years ago, you know, you have no idea, right? And you might be there right now. You might be only trading for a few years, maybe two, maybe less than 5 years yourself, right? And you don't know what you don't know, right? So there's two sides of the camp here, right? So the first camp is people that have just been buying and holding for the last couple of years, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4 years. You've probably been doing really, really well, right? So that buy and hold we know is going to come to an end eventually when we actually do go into a recession. But then there's the other camp, there's the other side of the situation where these markets here, where we can start to really identify like the simple things, right? So when I first started trading, like you just don't know, right? And when you get into the world of trading, it's hard, it's difficult, because I understand where you're at right now, right? It's like, what do I focus on? Do I focus on, there's all these indicators. What do these indicators mean? The Forex market, the futures market, this market, that, all right? And you start to go down this rabbit hole. And you actually just want to make some good money from trading, right? So you go down this big massive rabbit hole, and what we end up doing is we start to make decisions in the markets based off the herd mentality, the noise of the markets. And we know whenever we do that, whenever the herd is saying one thing, the opposite happens in the stock market. So for example, when I'm just looking at these markets right here, right now, you would know that when this market came down through here, and I was letting all my private clients know this, right? All my private clients. In fact, where I'm actually long the indices right now, right? I'm long the US indices right now for this very reason that I was mentioning to you guys over the course of the last couple of months, right? So this big massive V bottom through here, right? If you're new to my channel, you'll be able to go back and see how I was calling for this very strong bounce that was coming through here. So I saw this coming. Right now, what made me see this bounce coming? Well, there's a few things here that I really want to share with you to really help you and guide you through this process of, one, if we are going to start to go through a bit of a topping pattern in the markets, and we're going to start to go through a downtrend, what do we need to focus on? What do we need to look for? Okay, and the second thing, why most people miss this bounce. So let's actually go to the latter. Why most people miss this bounce? Most people miss this bounce because they got so sucked into the emotions of what was happening, right? So the market came down pretty hard. And then what happened is, of course, when the market comes down that fast and that hard, that the media is going to come out there. Oh my goodness, biggest drop in 24 days, and you know the headlines, right? They come out. So, oh my goodness, this is the biggest drop we've had in the Dow Jones in the last 23.4 hours. And they just make up this, that's like the biggest drop in the last 8 years. It's like, okay, cool. It's probably going to be the biggest rebound in the last 8 years. So the whole thing about this whole trading thing here, guys, is that so many people got sucked into the emotions of what the headlines and the people were saying around here. And if you watch my stuff, I was just keeping it really simple. And I was saying, guys, look at the weekly charts, right? This is the weekly chart to the left over here. Look at the weekly charts. And if we are still making these significant higher lows, as this market's coming down, it's probably going to make another high low, and away we go. right? So I'm going to talk about that in just a minute here. So the purpose of me telling you this here is that because if you trade the market, say less than 5 years, you're still probably going through that figuring out process, right? Like, what is the truth about these markets? And again, that's the reason why with my private private coaching clients that I'm with every single day, I'm really guiding them down the actual proper process and the proper path of what do I really focus on, right? If I actually want to get good at these markets. And unfortunately, most people are driven by what they think is going to happen, right? And it makes no sense to most retail traders. Because like, hang on a minute, there was the pan, the carry trade, all this sort of stuff, and the market's bouncing really strong. So you're probably at the situation right now that if you did go short, you're probably like losing your head right now, right? Again, I know and this is where it's really, really difficult for you, right? I understand this process. And like, the reason why I'm saying that comment that's difficult for you, because like there's people all over YouTube that have millions and millions of subscribers that are really, really, really smart, but even they were saying like, oh my goodness, there's a recession coming, you know, and they're going short, right? And by the way, they lost their shirt. Not me, like you guys know, I think I was one of the only people on YouTube that was saying, get ready for a strong bounce. And it all come down from, the really big thing, guys, is that if we can go down a big, massive rabbit hole, and this is one thing I've found over the last 20 years, take it, whatever you like, okay? Last 20 years. You can go down a big, massive rabbit hole of all the fundamental reasons. And that's what these YouTube channels do, right? These people, millions of subscribers, and they lost their shirt on their shorts, right? And again, like, I'm long the market right now, and I'm benefiting from this right now. You know, in fact, guys, like, as I speak right now, my account has made an all-time new high as of last week. So my entire account for the year has just made an all-time new high in profit. So I'm reaching new higher highs in my account. So I'm saying this from a perspective of where my money is right now, right? And I'm long these markets, right? I have been long. So the big thing here is when you go down this path here, right? And when you go down this whole journey of trading, we can easily, like, we can go to these people who are smart, right? Oh, the credentials and they've got more letters after the name than during the name, or they've got they're really smart and they can read the balance sheets and cash flows and future cash flows, and right? You go down this big path here. And the reason why I'm bringing on this thing here so much, guys, is because I think a lot of people here is they really, 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 really have missed this point here. And a lot of people have either gone short and lost a lot of money, or they're so surprised by this bounce. So the big thing for you guys is that I really want to share with you that you can go down this massive rabbit hole, this massive, massive rabbit hole of doing all that. But the one thing that I've learned, guys, the last 20 years is that the chart is a representation of what is going on right now. What are the big boys who really move this market around? What are they thinking and feeling? Because that's the only thing that matters, right? Not the inflation number. The inflation number is going to cause a short-term movement, but the overall big picture, weekly chart, is going to give us some guidance. And I know this may sound simple, guys, but over the last 20 years, this is just what I've figured out. And this is why I was really confident that this market was going to bounce, was this one simple thing here, right? This is what I want you to do. I want you to bring up the weekly chart. And also, when you bring up the weekly chart, I want you to put on just one moving average. So you see how I've got one chart, one moving average. No indicators, no 4,000 moving averages, no grid lines on the backs. Keep it simple, right? Okay. So how did I call this bounce, and why am I long these markets, right? And why am I benefiting from this right now? And why did I see this bounce coming? Again, if you're new to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the past videos how I called this bounce. And again, with my coaching clients who I'm with every single day, guys, I'm with them every day and I'm coaching them, guiding them through this process of what is really going on with these markets, so you can actually do really well, right? Because that's what I want for you. I want you to do really, really well. If you're interested in joining that group, my actual coaching group, then there should be a link in the description. You can apply for it. But looking at these markets here, let's actually keep this really, really, really simple, right? So you can go down this big rassy, and this is where most people, let's actually bring this here. So most people, they will go over here and they're going to look at let's look at the fundamentals, right? the fundamentals. They're going to look at the Japan, this here, and they're looking at all these different things about why the market was doing this here, right? So you can go down that rabbit hole. But remember, as a trader of the markets, we're trading the charts, right? The chart is a simple representation of everything that's coming out and everything that the big boys are thinking and feeling. And the market does give us some warning signs. We just got to learn how to read it properly, right? And we just got to learn, you know the 80-20 rule, right, guys? So the 80-20 rule, what is it? 20% of the things that really do matter in these markets as a trader of these markets. So, or, and I know you got to probably say, whatever, John, or you can look at trend and momentum, which is the trend is the lows and highs, and the momentum is the moving average, right? Where is the overall momentum still at that time? Okay, so a lot of people were just focusing on this here, and that obviously when the market was coming down through here, the fear and greed index started picking fear. People got started fearful. So if this is one of your very first times of experiencing that, then there's a lot of lessons in that. Why? Because every year we generally have, in every bull market, every year there's generally one of these freak out periods. It even happened here back in 2023. Look at this period through here. Guess what was happening through here? The exact same thing, right? And then bam, way we go again. So the big thing that I'm always watching for is that rule number one for me, guys, and above everything else you're probably watching right now, rule number one is what's the trend and what phase are we in? Okay, what's the trend and what phase are we in? So if we know, you probably heard the trend is your friend until the end, right? Cool. Bring up the weekly chart, analyze what's the trend. Now, if we go up, higher, low, up, higher, low, up, and then we have this down period through here, like that there, what's the trend still? Like, what is the actual trend? The trend's still up, right? Even though we're having a bit of this drop through here, the trend is still what? Low, higher, low, higher, low. The market's just having a bit of a correction that creates the upward trend in the first place. And then bam, we go again, and then we get another higher low, right? And away we go. So as long as we keep making these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and higher lows, as long as we keep making that, right? As long as we keep making those higher lows, the market's in a strong upward trend. And when we go through these little bit of a drop through here, as long as it stays above the previous significant low, then it's just another counter trend. So as you can see back here, what I was looking at was just this last low. I was like, okay, we are dropping here, but if you understand, like, the trend is your friend until the end, okay, cool. But if you understand what is a trend, the trend is when the market goes up for a bit, there's going to come a period of time where the market actually has a pullback, right? And then it goes up for a bit, and then there's going to come a time where we may go sideways for a bit, and so on and so forth. So that's how the markets work. Like we go for a while, and then we have a pullback, right? And we go for a while. Look at this here. We actually went up for a while, so we're due for some sort of a pullback anyway, right? Because we've been going up for all these weeks, like many months here, right? So, and then we actually what? Then we actually started to pick back up, and then we started to move forward from there, right? This here was the scooping pattern here, and now you go now look back. Now look what happens. Oh, low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? Oh yeah, no, Dow Jones, hindsight 2020, right? This guy's calling the higher low after the fact. Go watch my videos. You would know the reason why when this was happening and everyone was freaking out. I was saying, guys, get ready for the bounce, right? Get ready for the bounce. And again, my money's where my mouth is right now. I'm long the indices right now, guys, right? And I have been for a while now. So anyway, so the purpose of me saying that is that when we actually, if the market as long as this keeps making higher lows, and higher lows, it's the trend is up, right? So, but when if the market does make a higher low and a higher low and another higher low, but then this is the low here. When the market does, okay, not our thinking, not our, let's go down this massive rabbit hole. When the market breaks that low, that is the first sign to tell you that things are now changing. The trend is your friend until the end. This, As long as we make higher lows through here on the weekly charts, that's the big trend, like that's the real big trend, right? Some of you guys are focusing on the 5 minute and the 2 minute and the 1 minute and the hourly charts and the 4 hour charts and the daily charts, but you're forgetting the weekly chart. The weekly chart is king, right? Weekly is king. As long if once we actually break the low, that is now your first warning of what's going on here. Okay. Now, looking at my moving average here, you'll notice something when we start to get into topping patterns. And what is that? That is, let me bring up a green color here. All right. So this is the green moving average. If the green moving average is trending strong, that's like the ocean. That's like the current in with the surfer. Okay. This point through here is the wave picking up, and then something that I always liken this as surfing, right? We're waiting, and then bam, the wave. There's a really big wave. We hop on it and we jump into it. Come back down. You can see the wave. The momentum of this wave is still coming up. We're just looking to jump into it, and away we go. But when the moving average starts to flatten out, so firstly is low, high, low, high, low. As long as the moving average is still coming up like here, like that, guess what? There's a lot of momentum to the upside. So any downward movement, especially when you now overlay trend analysis, lows, higher lows, and then we have the moving average coming up like a momentum indicator, it's saying there's a lot of momentum on the upside. This is the two things, guys, the two things that told me, that led me down the path of really putting my neck on the line while everyone else was screaming the doors are flushing open, to say, oh, now I can see, right? And now, but the thing is that once we actually break the low, then now the trend is there's no more trend, right? We're not making high lows. We actually broke a low, so therefore we're no longer in an upward trend. And then what happens is the moving average starts to flatten out, and then maybe even start to go down from here. Right, so that's what we want to see, and we can see here. So if we utilize that same scenario back here in the COVID boom, right? What do we have? Lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and higher lows, right? But look what happened here. Notice this point through here and this point through here. This point right here and here was what? When we started to break these significant lows. See that through there? But until that happened, we had these corrections along the way. Make sense? And then what happened? Look at the moving average. See the moving average started flattening out through here? Now we know what? Now something's different, right? But until then, look at this here. Look at that moving average all the way strong. Now we're flattening out. Now, this is the point through here we start to get worried about a topping market, right? Let's go look at so that's the top of the market there, right? Let's go look at the 2008, and you'll be able to see this work time and time again, guys. Right? It's a very simple thing, right? But when you start to analyze this, therefore we can just keep our emotions out of the markets and make really good trading decisions, right? Just keep them out of the markets here. So if we see this once again, lows, right? Then we have these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? At this point in time, we're making higher lows, higher lows. Notice, then we actually broke the low here, right? That was a breaking of the significant low right there. See that through there? So there's lows, and a higher low. And then we had made another high, sort of same low here, but then we broke it. When that broke it, guess what? Now, we're no longer in an upward trend, right? This was the point in time where if you worried about the market going into a bear market and a crash, this is the point of call that you need to look out for, right? This is the thing we need to look out for. But then also look at the moving average, right? The moving average so in conjunction of that, look what the moving average does, right? We end up going up through here, and we actually started to come down through here. We actually started to come all the way down through here. So the moving average started to roll over, and we started to flatten out and come down. So if we have a look at this scenario here, this looks nothing like the current market. Hence the reason why I was saying get ready for a big move. Because once again, if I bring up my back line, if we go make that there, as this market was pulling back, guess what I was doing, right? I was saying get ready for a bounce. Why? Because we're making high lows and there's a lot of strong momentum behind it. Make sense? And if we go back and have a look at, say, the .com, the .com bust, same sort of scenario, right? Lows, higher lows, higher lows. We had all these high lows through here, and then we end up started breaking the lows, didn't we? And then look what the moving average did. Moving average was trending up, and then the moving average started to come down through here as well too. And then we started to do what? Lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, right? So there's one simple thing for you guys, right? One simple thing for you guys that could have made life so much easier, right? Instead of us, and the really hard thing about trading, right, is us spending 54 hours trying to go down this massive rabbit hole, and it just confuses the crap out of us, right? And this is one thing, there's one thing I'm telling you right now, guys, is the most important thing to me as a trader. Whenever I'm looking for a really good setup, and I do trade the daily charts, right? Meaning I'm looking to get in. I'm looking to get in on the daily charts, right? I'm using my daily charts as my entry signal. And again, there's a link in the description. You'll be able to go check out my actual trading system, right? But I'm using the daily charts for my entry signal, but I'm making sure I'm sticking with this overall weekly trend. Because if I'm sticking with the weekly trend, I've got a big probability of having a successful trade in the first place, because I'm going with the overall trend, with the overall momentum, which is the moving average, okay? But then also, secondly, now I have a high probability of having a good chance of picking up a much bigger profit compared to, say, my average loss. And that's how you win the game at trading. So I hope this really helps you out here, traders. I've gone down a bit of a rabbit hole here with you guys, but this is something that's really, really, really going to help you out. Even if you're just holding stocks from here, or you want to know what's happening with the markets, we can spend all our time looking at all the fundamentals. And I'm telling you right now, you probably are there yourself, right? As this market was coming down through here, you probably went down the rabbit hole of why the market's crashing and where's support and is this the top and the market's going to bounce and all this sort of stuff. Okay, so I hope this really helps you out here, traders. If you do need some help, then there's that. I think that's the first link or second link in the description. There's a link in the description there, guys. You can go apply for the coaching, and that's with me every single day. If you do really need some help there, guys, I know that I can really help you just to keep you on the right side of what are the most important things out there, and why most retail traders absolutely suck at trading.